Hey, welcome back to the channel. It's Africa Unboxed. It's Panafest time and we are in Bono Manso. Today, a group of diasporans from across the world are tracing their roots from all the way from the northern part of Ghana through to the southern part of Ghana. The chief and people of Bono Manso put up this splendid drumming and dancing to welcome our brothers from the diaspora, which was led by Rabbi Cohen.
I greet you in the spirit of peace and love. It is a great honor for me to be back home. Although I am introduced and the name most familiar with those who know me publicly as Rabbi Cohen Halevi, the executive director of Panafest, I have come home, and it is here that I have received my own name, my traditional name, my stool name, Nana Edu Ajay. So I'm home, and so it is for that reason that I am honored to be here with my family as no stranger, but as one of the sons of the soil here. Amen. And so I'm back home. Thank you. There was some years ago that we started an initiative to make the link between fulfilling the gap with the whole story of the legacy of what happened with our ancestors who were captured and enslaved. And so Bono Manso was identified as one of the key places that we must stop to tell the story and encourage our brothers and sisters to come and complete the full journey, that the story could not just be told in the South by going to Accra and Cape Coast and Elmina and then maybe stopping at Kumasi, but we have to go all the way to the borders of where our people were taken from, and that Bono Manso was a key to that narrative being told, and that is something that we began. And so there has been some break in the continuity of that effort, but we are here today to say that we have not forgotten, and we are renewing that pledge to tell the full narrative, the full truth about the role that all of the key places that belong to this narrative, to this truth, that it is told and the world must know. And that's what we meant by, in 2019, the year of return, we must change the narrative. And changing the narrative, it means we must erase the lie and tell the truth, and no longer hide the truth from our people, because the world must know whom it is that we are. So it is for that reason that we are here. As it was announced, this is the 25th year of the anniversary of Emancipation Day. And so it is worth celebrating. It is the 31st year of Panafest. And together we have united ourselves to come and take this full journey with a full complement of those who are part of this industry, of tour operators and tour guides, and those who will be directing our brothers and sisters from the diaspora and from all parts of the world to tour Ghana and this wonderful land that we have here that we've been blessed with, that they will go the full journey of the pilgrimage, to know where our ancestors have traveled, to tell the full story and to leave nothing out, to meet the real people and to interact with one another, and to come and see our elders, to see our nananum, that you may also share the oral tradition and share the truth of this story. I don't like to use the term story, I like to say narrative, because you know when we say tell stories, people tell lies. And so we don't want to say tell stories. We want to tell the truth. We want to speak the real narrative. We want people to know what has taken place with us. And even though our history has been interrupted by a terrible chapter called slavery and a terrible chapter called colonialism, our resilience and what God has blessed us with keeps us in a position that we can still rise and master our own destiny if we come together and unite as a people with Africans family here on the continent, with the African family in the diaspora. There is nothing that we cannot achieve, and that is what we want to do together. That is what we celebrate here today. In our numbers, we only represent a few, but the few represent many. With all of the atrocities that has taken place over 500 years, God being so good, Africa has the youngest and the largest population of young people anywhere in the world. Can you imagine a statistic like that? We have the youngest and the most numerous population in the world. We have more young people in Africa than in Asia, than in America, and in Europe. It means that we have the potential and the manpower to build Africa as the greatest civilization again, because everybody came from Africa. We must tell the glorious story of Africa. History didn't begin with slavery. It didn't begin with colonialism. We shone the light to the world when everybody else was in darkness. Next year will be the 700th year of the great pilgrimage of Mansa Musa from West Africa to East Africa. He went there with 60,000 men, and he carried more gold than any human eye had ever seen before in an entourage. He broke every stock market along that trail. When he got to Egypt, the people were shocked at the amount of riches he traveled with. When he got to Mecca, they were shocked at the amount of riches he traveled with. They were shocked at the character of those in the entourage that he traveled with. Their character, their regalia, their garments. When you look at our nananum, and you look at the cloth, when you look at the regalia, it is that magnificent regalia. It is that royalty that stunned the whole world 700 years ago. It is that regalia, it is those riches that caused the people from Asia, people from Europe to come to West Africa in search of that gold. Now 700 years later, we see Europe is rich, America is rich, and look what has happened to us. We must reclaim our glory. We must reclaim our heritage. We must reclaim our dignity. But in order to do that, we must come together as one people, and we must unite. And when we unite as a people, that unity will give us the strength to reclaim our ancient glory. So this is what we come to proclaim here today. This is what we stand on here today. There is no foreign help, no foreign aid will do for us what we must do for ourselves. And that is what that psalm says. We must redeem ourselves from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our mind. We must not look outside, not in the sky, not across the ocean, not down in the ground, but look to ourselves as a people that's going to control our destiny. So, as I said, we started something, and we're going to finish it. And we are here to renew that pledge to be a part of making sure that each time Panafest and Emancipation Day come about, this route is going to be included. And in between there, that's what the tour operators and the guides are here for. Not waiting for Panafest and Emancipation Day, but anytime tourists come into the country, they're going to recommend this route and recommend this route, that they will know they must come here and they must visit the other places so we can tell the whole narrative of our truth as a people. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Robert.
After this powerful speech, the people demonstrated one of the means our people were sold into slavery.
That there are some men who have come to the town and they are in search for human beings, men and women who are strong to be sold. And so the friend want to go to him so that they can confirm whether it is true that they want men and women to buy. And so he tells them he wants men and women who are very strong and very energetic to buy, and in exchange for that, he will give them salt, snap. And that is a monetary incentive. So he wants them to taste the salt and the drink for themselves. Everything and children and salo and what they are more say, almost tasting it. So what mean any pa? Omo de mani merima, momo ata, omo be mo monche and son, momo anom. Anything, papa is not down for so as a kaye, omo ni aje. Some of them are going for hunting. Others are in their home sleeping. And therefore we have hired people to go and capture them. So they'll be captured to go and sell to the captain and his people. These people who have been hired have gone to capture them also. Forcefully capturing them. And so these people have been captured to be sold. And so they have brought them to Bono Manso, the border, that they are safe. And so it must be told that our own brothers were deeply involved in this.
Very unfortunate indeed how things went. And as you would know, in every royal setting, before the chief speaks, there has to be some music to welcome him.
Diasporans on free north, south, east, as I say, Omabeka and Hoa. Nana, and then paying for Mamakwa. Now, and he say, you can't, and I say, can before I owe Bona half one. And I say, Ghana half an aina, and it Bono Manso. Now, Bono Manso, you to cry. Sabre, you train here, and I'm a quantity. You be a collapse. Now, begin a house. You know, I'm quite manano, and I saw Mokodi baby. Omobaba, no maba, ye in a chance or should dream. It is Sabre or Mobile, and Nije, Yamom, Nije, and Momo, Aquaba. Says I, Nifi Cancer. Sanya Yajuami, Bibiara, a home, Assassin, Bibiara, as of dear factory. Nema announce on Baba, I mean, ye know me not, come her, and Sassi and the Bomo Mina, free, and Yadia better more. Into a Momra, not in a Bobo, and Chichen Promanso.
After his speech, the chief of Bono Manso led us in a procession to the slave market where our ancestors were chained, were beaten, and were sold as goods to the white man.
Yo, my father and Sunny. Yo, Nana may come here. Yo, Oquasso. Yo, and I could see our Oquasso. Yo, the Parliament break. Yo, I wish you one said. A young one on the home, and over free. One more by a cheap. Yo, Nananum. Your son, more here, so here from. Yo, and yet. I want you to come on what to Yaba Bromanso. Yo, so the home be a Sabi, woman and I'm free. No, no, my baby, say, I'm no. Yo, you papa for a kind of one. Because my idea is piano and I was for yo, my family is guitar and
we were once again reminded by this beautiful poem from this young lady about the toil, the hardship, the struggle of our ancestors before getting to the slave plantations in Europe or in the Americas.
Salaga, Kunso, Manso, Manchesim Ade, any Anijina, Apunafua Baremu, Inisian Yanka, Nanso, Anidaso, Fufra, a Baye free Abraham Lincoln, Cassatia or Man and Ibrea, along to a soon Jumadian, I fear him, a hand watching at your Siamian son. Yea, if fair, na enyine so abama afi apem ahankron adeokron wotwim Ghana ni abidimaya wodi kan da nkwaso fam di dwumadi adi yeyinom ni ohaw abebrese amani hunu ni abenedi a ye nananum fam esan yenti se ye kaika yeyinom nyina dia na anokwase yenre emfrida nananum ayebi na akame ne wo se ye de yemmoa nyansa nimde ne ade dabwa ama oman no atumpo na se yemre chama waboyendi awadachi nyumto impenyin se pachaman pronefrati asifo medamasi.
John Dako, a local tour guide and historian, narrates the horror stories of this tree and this market and things that went on.
To celebrate the Emancipation Day. And this is Bono Manso, where slaves were being brought from the northern part of Ghana to the southern part. And this tree you see here is one of the biggest trees in Ghana. It existed even before the 17th century. And this is where slaves that were chained and brought from the north to be hanged here or to be chained here before they were being sent to Cape Coast or to their castles before they sent them to America. So these people you have seen here it demonstrates the slaves that were being chained. These are some of the chains on their hands and then all those things around. So today marks the Emancipation Day, which we do to remember. And I hope today, those of you who are looking around here, I don't think we will repeat such a thing. It has brought a lot of harm to Africa and blacks, for example. Most of our mothers, our fathers were being sent out from the country just because of salt or other things like drinks like snap, things like mirror, and just a few things that brought this problem. You could see that there's a pot here. Sometimes they'll bring a drink, either they put it in the, maybe some of these things, and give it to them just because of this small pot of drink. Our people were sent outside. So this man is one of their captains, and they were having certain things, some weapons. Whenever any slaves behave notoriously, they'll use some of these things to knock their knees and just break them, or their head, so that they'll just sometimes they even knock and kill them. These are some of the things they use. They can either use to kill or to kill wild animals that tries to harm them. So they use some of these as weapons too. Okay. We could have bows and arrows too. Sometimes they use this either to protect themselves or enemies too. The bows and arrows were very important during those days. So we have some old things here that we use to demonstrate the way slaves were being chained, things that were being used. And in fact, as we are all here, I don't think we all believe that they will still continue to have slavery again. Because there are many things that is still happening in this world, and it looks as if we are practicing slave trade again. Not by sending people to the case or to America again, but we ourselves. Probably looking at this tree, it has a lot of economic purposes. The bark of the tree can be used as medicinal plant. The leaves can be used for preparing soup and other things, or herbal medicine. And the fruits too, we can use it for food. There is a river here known as Trede. That is where the slaves were being sent to take the fruit of this baobab tree as their main food. And when we go there, you see that they have made some kind of holes there. It wasn't easy. So this baobab tree is known as Genus adansonian. That's the botanical name for this tree. And it has been existed, as I'm saying, about 16th centuries up to now. And since slavery, Bono Manso was the slave center. In fact, we actually want this place to still remain a historical center, whereby our brothers and sisters from the diaspora, anytime they can come here to see how things are, so that we can narrate the history or narrate the story of this area for them, so that in future they will come back and we unite ourselves together. And if any of the diaspora want to come to Africa or to Ghana, he should come to Bono Manso, because it started from Salaga. From Salaga to maybe Kintapo, there's a town called Kumsu. The Kumsu is where the weak slaves were being given to the chief to take care of them. But the strong ones, they used to bring them to Bono Manso to change them here through this, that they can see, or the great baobab tree, before they transport them to the Cape Coast.
How sad. Unfortunately, slavery is still going on amongst us. Let's stop it.
I'm Dr. Dean. I'm a co-convener of the Central Region African Descendants Association of Ghana. I've been on the tour since we left Accra. It has been a dynamic experience. I've come with my family. I've come with friends. I've met friends, and I've reconnected with family. So in the spirit of Sankofa, this is a 100% success, and I can only recommend others take advantage of the opportunity in the future Emancipation Days, the future Panafest, just in the future, sooner than later. I mean, these routes need to be seen, and only we can tell our story, and it has many facets. By realizing as the Ndinkra symbol that shows the crocodiles sharing one stomach, two crocodiles, one from the east, one from the west, right? And they share the same stomach, realizing that we have the same common interest for Black, African, American unification and development for our people's sake. You know, when we win here and we're able to retake our resources and harness our internal power, then we're able to heal ourselves, both in the physical body as in the community. We have everything that we need. And we have a system, like I say, our Metruneta, our Adinkra system, is a system of symbols of high science. The answer to your question is simply the crocodile that shares, two crocodiles that share one belly. You understand me? As an American, and as a Black American, and an African American, a Moorish American, I suffer when you suffer. And you also suffer when I suffer. All over the world, the Black man is hated, whether we're dark or light, no matter what country we claim. We're all just considered the bottom of the barrel when we're actually, nothing is stronger than us. Nothing is stronger than us. All we have to do is harness our internal power. In Fanti, we call it Pumadzin. We harness our inner power, we're able to heal ourselves and have Ahmadzin, both in the community and in our families and in the world. Now, Assalamu alaikum.